Well, you already got that first part written down. So should be good.
Right. Ready to go?
So my next question then, what would your plans be for the Haven for Heroes and, let me rephrase that. What are your plans for the Haven for Heroes future?
So we have 2 buildings that are open right now for veteran housing. We're almost done with the 3rd building, so that'll be important as that comes online next year. And then the next thing that we're going to finish off is the historic auditorium that we have over here. That'll be a business enterprise. It'll help generate funds to fuel the housing side of the business.
All right, and just a small follow-up question. I recall earlier that you were mentioning that you did not want to take any handouts from the taxpayers.
Right.
Now, I understand that, but would you be willing to take taxpayer revenue in the future if you were to provide a service towards the greater taxpayer base? Like, let's say in this case that you were to expand to help, more homeless people. Talk about, veterans, potential, let's say that we expand beyond veterans at a certain point.
Probably not. These 3 buildings, by contract, have to be used for veterans only. So the way this works is, Anoka County owns this. They lease it to the city of Anoka for nothing. The city of Anoka leases it to us for nothing. So it's a partnership between Anoka County, the city of Anoka, and Haven for Heroes. And our job is to raise the money to rehab these buildings, to put veterans in them. We can only put veterans in these buildings. So we will not be in the business of doing anything other than that.
Okay, that's perfectly reasonable, and that was just a small side
Yeah.
question, I suppose. All right. But following up on that second question there, so do you have any changes that you would wish to see in the near future with the organization in terms of, reducing a certain amount of, the homeless population of veterans, or increasing the amount of, mental health support and other lifelines for these veterans?
Yeah, we're constantly upgrading services and programming that we do. We go all around the state of Minnesota to different events, and we run into people who are providing services that we might not know about. And so if they're robust enough, we'll bring them in as a partner. So we have right now about 20, 25 different partners that bring different services to what we do. And we continue to run into people who are able to help our veterans. So in the future, we want to continue to be able to add programming services to what we do here.
All right, wonderful. And I do want to ask a bit of a personal question, if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
All right, so do you have any personal reasons for why you started this organization, for why you are, doing what you're currently doing?
Well, the board of directors, we have 5 of them. There's myself, Ellen, my wife, our state senator, Jim Abler, Jim Abler's wife, Barb, and Doug Hookham, who is the former commander of the Anoka American Legion. Mm-hmm. So all 5 of us have been working on this since 2017. Mm-hmm. And I was never in the service, but Ellen and I were on the commissioning committee for the USS Minnesota, fast attack submarine. Mm-hmm. And we were on the commissioning committee for the Minneapolis St. Paul, which is also another naval vessel. So this is a way, as far as Ellen and I go, and I think the entire board, of giving back to the military, especially the 4 board members that were not in the service.
Of course.
So we are in a position in life where we can financially do this and take the time to save lives and save these old buildings.
Of course. All right, and I just have one more question for you then. So what would you have to say to any potential new recruits into the military that may be concerned about their government supporting them once they get out?
The VA services are very good. The VA has really upped their game. It used to be that if you went to the VA for medical services, you had to go to the VA. Now they can go to, private health care firms, and the VA will pay them. So there's a whole lot more going there. The other thing I would say, and this I can really say this about Minnesota, maybe a few other states, Minnesotans get it. They get supporting their veterans. So the community as a whole in Minnesota has a lot of different organizations that help to support vets. If you reach out to your veteran service office in your county or any one of the several vet centers that are here, or even to an organization like Haven for Heroes and ask for help, we can probably find you the right group of people. Minnesotans really get this, and they understand how important it is to support their veterans. So, you know, once they get out, you know, it's not perfect. The discharge process, you know, a lot of young veterans, a lot of young men, women come into the service when they're 18 years old, you know, maybe 20 years old, and they have never, ever really had a household. They never really budgeted. They've never really paid bills. They got out of school and they got into the service. Now they get out of the service 4, 6 years, 8 years, whatever the number is, later, and they don't really have a lot of life skills. They've never gone out and asked for a job. And when you're in the military, the one thing that's really interesting is they're not used to, most veterans are not used to using the word I. It's always we. It's always I take care of my buddy. It's hard for them to sit down in front of a potential employer and say, I know how to do this, and I can do this for you, and I can tell you that, you know, you give me this job, and I'm going to be doing it. That isn't in their vocabulary. It's something that they need to learn. So I tell this to vets that are going to get out all the time. Learn how to speak civilian talk. And on the other side of that, civilians need to learn how to speak military. We have a company here in Anoka, Federal Cartridge Corporation, ammunition company. They, in their HR department, have a couple of people who, if HR turns a veteran down because of the resume, because of the interview, those resumes will go to these people who were in the service. A lot of times those guys can look at those resumes and say, we got to get this person back in here. I know what this person did. I know what they can do, and they just didn't get it across to you. And so that's a real, you know, it's almost like you got somebody speaking English and somebody speaking French.
So it's like a language barrier.
Yeah, it is. And it's, you know, veterans really, I tell you another thing, we think, you know, in Minnesota here, in the 7-county metro area, the governor has declared that we have zero functional homelessness among veterans. We know that that's not quite true because a lot of veterans who are homeless will not tell you they're a veteran. They've got a lot of pride, and you know, you see a lot of people standing on the side of the road that says, I'm a homeless vet, give me some money. I know for a fact that a lot of those people aren't homeless vets. They're not vets at all. It's stolen valor. And we've had people who have showed up on this campus who have volunteered to help us. And later on, they've actually worn military insignias. They've told us the campaigns that they've been in. And we found out that they were never even in the service. I mean, it's unreal how much stolen valor there is out there.
Well, I do appreciate your insight. It's
Yeah.
been very great.
Here, let me give you a card, both of you guys.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, if,
I've got about 9 minutes of audio here.
yeah.
Is it all right if I'm probably going to transcribe it?
Yeah.
But I might use pieces of it later for like
Yeah.
sound bites. Is that all
Whatever.
right? All right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
no problem. Anytime, you're welcome back.
Thank you very much,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it's amazing service that you're doing here. We do have a great respect for it.
Yeah.